Talking with Ray Charles. Say, there's a question the Federal Aeronautics Administration submitted here. Last time you were here, they want to clear this up. Is it that you do or do not fly an airplane?
I mean, do I really have to answer that?
Well, there's a rumor that you know how to fly an airplane.
Oh, now that's better.
Yeah.
You see,
okay.
there's a difference in what I do and what I know.
That's true. We all know how to do things we don't necessarily do.
Exactly.
That's
you
right.
see, so
so to speak.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
No, I know. I think I know enough that, God forbid, if my captain and my co-pilot happen to eat the same meal, and they got food poisoning or something, you know.
Yeah.
And it was left up to me to get the plane on the ground, a matter of life and death. I really believe that I could probably land it without killing myself. In other words, I feel I might tap a wing or something, you know, maybe ruin the landing gear. But I don't think I would kill myself.
Might lose a little equipment.
Yeah.
How, may I ask, would you read the altimeter?
Well, we would just take and squeeze the you know, these things have little glass meters on them. Just like it's the
like
same as
clock.
flying a plane. There's a little airplane in there which tells you whether the plane is level or not.
Oh, yeah, it's like a miniature plane on.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. So I would probably do that. And then, of course, if the guy...
Take the glass out?
Yeah, well, no, not take it out. I wouldn't have time for that. Break it out, you see. Yeah,
that would save time.
Yeah, right. And this is what I would do. Now, obviously, the guy in the control tower would have to be exceptionally sharp, though, you know.
Okay. But you've got this really worked out so that you could read the instruments by hand.
Well, I think it's a matter of confidence, you know. I'm really not afraid of airplanes. When I was a little kid, I've always loved airplanes. And I feel that if I had to, I would only want to do it once, you know. But
oh, yeah.
yes, you know, I wouldn't want to make a habit out of it. No,
no.
You see.
Naturally.
But I think the main thing would be, is I once heard a guy say that any landing is a good landing, you know, if you can walk away from it. Yeah. And I think I would probably be able to have somebody, you know, help me with a cane or something and take me away from it that way.
So you're not predicting total success? But,
no,
but
no, not total. Okay. I'm sure I would probably break my leg or my arm or something, but I don't think I would kill myself. And of course, that's the important thing.
You'll settle for that?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
certainly.
Okay. How did you learn to take care of yourself as a kid? It was glaucoma, they figure, that got your sight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then both your parents died.
That's true.
Who was it who had given you whatever it takes to get you where you are?
I think my mom, I feel, was the greatest woman ever lived, because she had a tremendous problem in the sense that, you know, I was reared in a little small town, Greensville, Florida, and I was the only blind kid in the town, which made me an oddball to begin with, you see. Yeah. I was different, in other words. And she would always tell me, well, you know, son, one of these days I'm not going to be with you, you know, I'm going to die or something. And even your friends, the people who love you, after all, they have their own lives to live, and you're going to have to learn how to do things for yourself. And she insisted upon it, you know. I mean, she had me doing all sorts of things that when you think of a blind kid in general, you wouldn't think that he would be doing. I used to do almost everything any other kid did. I used to wash dishes, scrub the floors, and in those days we had a wood stove, and I used to go out and cut wood with an axe. You know, and you know,
really?
Oh, sure. You know, the chips would fly up, and my mother had an incident happen one time, and they called her into church. You know, we all went to the Baptist church, and the community felt that it was a shame that she had me cutting wood, because after all, I could have been hit by a chip from the wood. And she said, well, even if you can see, that can happen to you, which was quite true, you know. But it was just that she didn't want to instill pity in me or have me feeling sorry for myself. So she made sure that, she always told me one thing. She said, son, there is always at least two ways to do anything. Now, obviously, there may be 1,000 ways to do it, but there is at least two ways to do anything in the world that you want to do. So you just have to find the way to do it that is comfortable for you. And I must tell you, Dick, I found that to be very accurate, very true in life, you know. You can always find a way to do anything twice.
Can you remember what your parents looked like?
Oh, sure, sure. My mother was a very, if you don't mind my saying so, I think she was a very beautiful gal. She must have been about 4'11" or something like that. My old man was about 6 feet. She looked like his daughter, I guess. Mm-hmm. You know, it was very short-lived, but she was very beautiful. She had long black hair, almost down to her waist, you know. And when I was 12 years old, the reason I remember this so well, because when I was 5 or 6, you know, she looked tremendous to me, you know, really huge. Mm-hmm. But by the time I was 12, I was much larger and taller than my mother. And she was quite an attractive woman.
They never knew, of course, what became of you, did they?
No, that's if I had any regrets, I think that would be it. I really regret the fact that my mother didn't have the chance to see me become where I am today.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, we have to take a message. We'll be right back, Steve. Talking with Ray Charles. Do you like to go on the road still?
Oh yeah, well, because I love people, you know, and there are people up and down the road.
People always talk about musicians on the road as being a killing life. I mean, it's very rough. That, on the one hand, they say that, and then they say it's a spectacular circus on the road, and all musicians are great swingers, as we know.
Yeah.
And,
do we?
I don't know. I always hear this. I always hear this.
Yeah.
You yourself, probably, in your younger days.
Well, I figured that in my younger days I had to find out many things, you know. So but I think that when I was coming up through the ranks, I had a very, very tough time, really tough. Now I don't find it too bad because I've been fortunate enough to become my own boss, and so therefore I won't, you know, I control how much I work. So therefore, I won't let myself overdo. I think it's foolish to do that.
Where'd you pick up all the business sense that you obviously have? You have a building out in California, don't you, with your enterprises?
Yes. Well, I tell you, there comes a time in your life when you realize that nothing is a true 100% except death itself, and so you try to understand this, and as much as I love music, and I feel that as long as I've been in it, this is like around my 27th year in the business, I think that the public one day might say, well, Brother Ray, you know, you've been a nice horse, so we're going to put you out to pasture now. And if they do, I can really thank them with all my love, you see, and still be able to exist. And plus the fact I have kids now, and I would want them to come up and not necessarily be like me, but
you wouldn't?
No, oh no.
Yeah.
No, I want them to be themselves because I think that's very important. I didn't have anybody in my family that played any instrument, you see. And although my kids love music, I doubt if I mean, I don't know for sure, you know, I don't want to say that they won't be musicians because they are exposed to it. But they are exposed to everything. And my situation is I feel that whatever they would like to be, then I will help them be that. I'm not going to tell them, hey, go out and be a musician. Nor am I going to tell them, don't be a musician because it's so bad, because there's nothing wrong with pleasing millions of people. I can't find any harm to that, you know. As a matter of fact, music is about the only thing that people don't kill each other over, you know. I mean, this is where, and so it's about the only thing we have left. So it's not so bad after all when we stop and think about it.
What's on your own phonograph at home now, if I were to peek into your living room? What would you be listening to?
The chances are, on my phonograph, well, first of all, let me say this. I'm not too much a record man. I really love tapes better. But I would guess that I have one tape that I have different kinds of music. I have a little classical on it. I got a little this and a little of that. For instance, I have a little the music that you would call, you know, for lovers only, that sort of thing, you know.
Really, the old Jackie Gleason albums?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. You know, I think at heart I'm a sentimentalist.
What about
actually?
Beethoven, Bach,
Yeah,
Shakespeare?
I like, well, I don't, Shakespeare, is he in music too? I didn't know that. That's a surprise, I didn't know. Well, anyway, no, I love, I'm not, Beethoven, he did a couple of things I like the Moonlight Sonata, which I thought was beautiful. But I'm more of a Chopin or Sibelius, you know. They did more easy type or sentimental music, you know. Bach, although from a technical point of view, I think he was greatest in the world for making your hands do different things at different times from each other. Yeah. But it always.
Speaking musically, of course.
Yeah, right. Oh, yes, of course. But, you know, I always thought he was a nervous man because, yeah, if you listen...
nervous?
Yeah, well, from his writing, you know, his fugues, you know, he had a lot of that, you know. But
yes, I've always found his fugues a little shaky.
Yeah. No, well, actually, these are the people that I liked, Chopin and Sibelius. I thought they were really great.
Good.
And on my turntable, you really would find sentimental stuff. I like the easygoing, as I told you, for lovers only, and the songs that, not the fast songs, but the slow songs that Sinatra sang, the slow songs that Aretha made some years ago, you know. Yeah. I like that. When I feel really blue, though, I get out me some B.B. King, you know, and get down with it, baby, you know.
Okay. We're taking a message from our local station. We'll be right back.